Hello and welcome to Taran on YouTube. If you've seen my recent videos where I am in front of the camera and not behind it, like in my recent art journal flip through, I have found a way to make my quality better without the need to buy an expensive camera at the moment. So hopefully after processing this will all be good. Today's video is about a series of artwork I have done, and it's about the artwork in itself, but it's about me as a person as well and an artist. Behind me is one of the finished artworks, and we'll go through it. But I'd like to talk a bit more about the painting. I really think for me it's important not just to write about paintings, but also to do a little bit about them. So these paintings, the theme isn't the theme is like a trick in itself. So the paintings are flowery and delicate and colourful, which is, I really wanted to get that in there. However, the topics behind them are not so much. They are injuries, anxiety and pain. And these are things that I experience all the time. So I'll quickly go through injuries. I'll just list them because I don't feel we need to dive too much into them, but as a reference, you know what I'm talking about and you may relate as well. So when I was 19, I got hit by a car at the roundabout. I was a cyclist. I got it checked out at A&E, but I didn't ice it, and then I had about half a day's rest, and then I used my right hand profusely because I thought, what if I lose sensation in my right hand, ironically. So that is where that nerve damage comes from. And I'm finding that over time I will not be doing small detail work. I mean, I can do it, but I have to either pace myself or really hold back because I'm so determined. Even this series is not making my hand feel comfortable at all, but I am determined to get 6 pieces of artworks down that I really wanted to do from my mind onto paper. So yeah, that's injury 1, nerve damage, which I think could be similar to carpal tunnel or arthritis in the sense where like it affects my wrists, my elbow, my fingers, my finger joints, all of that. So I wanted to put that in it. I have other injuries such as my right foot was run over by an electric wheelchair and then reversed over by an electric wheelchair, which was completely an accident. And again, I didn't ice it, and then many years later, major nerve damage, which is mostly fine unless I'm gonna like be doing things like bouncy castle or dancing or doing a lot of things that involve hopping from one foot to the other foot, and not wise for my foot. So sometimes that can flare up too. And then I've got my back, which as you can see, possibly on the video, is that I've got 2 supports on my chair. I've got a pelvic support and I've got a back support. And that is because in COVID times, I fell down a flight of wooden steps whilst holding a baby. And all they could say on the phone, because it was COVID, was like, well, ice it and hopefully it'll be fine. Whereas I feel if it wasn't COVID, I would have like pursued it further. So because it's quite far down as well, it's not high up on my back, my coccyx, again, that is prone to flare-ups, and I feel it can affect my balance. I remember I was working somewhere where I'd have to go backwards and forwards to a changing room, and I'd do it 3 times a day, times like maybe 9 people. So therefore a lot of times backwards and forwards, and it affected my ears and affected my head, and I think it was all linked. So I have to think about my body and not being so spontaneously accident likely. Saying that, I did recently climb a tree in a dress. So yeah, these things all affect me because we use these parts of our bodies all the time, our hand, our foot, our back, and I use what I can available. So I do have like support cushions. I used to have a driving cushion that I now use for work if I'm sat down a lot. This back cushion was just given to me and it just works well. So I haven't found a chair that I really like that supports me. So I've just used an old dining chair and put the supports in because it works for me. So that being said, that's the injuries. If I move on to anxiety, okay, so I'm 33 years old and I feel like when I was growing up, anxiety wasn't mentioned at all. I know in these times, there's probably people out there that can easily say like, oh, I'm autistic, I have ADHD, I have high anxiety. But it takes a lot for me to be able to say, or comfortable enough to say, like, I'm high anxiety. Like, because I don't always feel it's relevant. And also I feel like if you've heard me talk, if you've been around me a little bit, you're already going to know that without me having to say it. And I think it can be like a survival thing, especially as a woman, because ancestrally we are the ones that are built for survival, built for bringing children into the presence of the world. So I don't always talk about my anxiety. And also since having a child, since my hormones shifting from that, I can feel really highly anxious at random times or when I'm due on, for example. So I feel like really big tightness in my chest, and I just have to breathe through it, because especially if it's at a really nice occasion and suddenly it decides to flare up. And then saying that, I think being anxious, I sometimes fall in the category of breath holding when I'm not supposed to be, because I'm not underwater, I'm on land. And if I'm doing a lot of strenuous work and my posture's getting weaker, because I have quite a weak back as well, I can get a big wraparound pain across here. So this isn't like a pity party about me at all. I just wanted to share it from me, what this series is about and how I've showed it on paper. So the artworks I've created, I've used flowers, and I did a few Elisa Burke courses. So if you recognize the flowers or you want to get started somewhere, that's where these are from. And I'm going to, because this is, I'm partially thinking about changing this slightly. The red roses or possums, whatever they are like showing a lot of pain, because also I'm one of those people that don't really share how much pain they're in. So I think getting it down in pain is really important for me, because again, it's not where I want people to feel sorry at all. It's more like just sharing. And also I think we as people can be in pain and hold it all in, and I think art can be a way of expressing some of that. So yeah, this is what this series is about, and I'm going to include it as a series in my portfolio, on my website, and this is the video that will accompany it. So I hope you have enjoyed learning a bit about me and a bit about the art series, and I look forward to sharing them all with you.